Hello and welcome back to Quilts by Carmel. I am Joe Carmel and I am back and I am working on Flags of Africa quilt top. I'm super excited and I just want to share with you all how it's going. Thus far, I've made about 18 to 20 blocks and then I hit a snag, I hit a hiccup. So I had to adjust, I had to tweak, I had to twerk my plan for this quilt top. And I'm just going to go over it with you and then I'll tell you how I'm tweaking it. How's that? I was online and I was on nationsonline.org and it has all the various, all the various flags of countries. And I was looking at Africa and I was like, these are rectangles. I can make this into a quilt, right? Of course, quilter, think of a quilt when you see anything, right? So, I made my blocks 12.5 by 9.5, which is great. However, there are like 54, 54 different flags, and these blocks are way too big for that. So what I've did is I am taking about 18 to 20 blocks and I am going to make a sample quilt top. So this is going to be my sample. I'm making it with Kona. This is just Kona cotton that I got from Joann's, and I think I used the red. I might have used a little bit more. Red and green I might have used 3/4 of a yard, but everything else was like half a yard or less. Okay, and I am going to surround it by the continent of Africa. And then I was thinking I probably should sash it so that each flag kind of pops out at you, okay? These flags don't have the symbols on them just yet, although this is Sierra Leone and no symbol goes on it. It's pretty simple, and that's a reason why I picked these specific blocks as well. And so I'm going to sash it with black, and then I'm going to make the continent around. Let me see if I can show you what I'm thinking. Here it is. So I am going to make the quilt in the shape of Africa. Wouldn't that be fun, you all? I thought about even putting Madagascar in a block, but I don't think I'm going to make it square. I think I'm just going to use the continent, okay? And so I had to kind of put the blocks in the shape of Africa. And so that's why Morocco is up here, doesn't have a symbol on it yet, and Somalia is over here. Okay, that one doesn't have a symbol on it yet either. So when I got these blocks done, I had to figure out how to put them in some type of order. So I decided, let me see if I can go back to it. Boy, here we go. I decided to do it so that the countries where they are, that's where they are. So Morocco's up there, Niger is close, Sierra Leone is near, let's see, where is it? Yeah, it's right in here, it's right in the Kirks, if that's a word. But that's my plan. All I have left to do is to sew these together. Then I'm going to put 12.5, what is it called? It's not quite a border, but I'm going to put a 12.5 black strip on this side, over here and over here, so that I can cut out the continent of Africa. But I'm also going to need a huge border up top and a huge border on the bottom. So I hope to show you all the process as I go through it. I'll come back once I have this portion pieced, okay? I'm super excited on how this is going to turn out. All right, I'm back and I have pieced my flag blocks together, and I just love how they look. I've sashed them with the Kona black and they just kind of pop out at you. Aren't they beautiful? I've made a total of 17 blocks, and I chose the ones that were easier, but my plan is in the new year, I want to do a Flags of Africa quilt top with all the flags. And so that's like 54. And I'm super excited about that because I'm going to scale these blocks down to like 7.5 by 5.5 and see if anybody wants to quilt along with me. That'll be in January or February. But I'm super excited about this one right here. I've had to add quite a bit of extra black Kona to the top and the bottom, and I will show you that, and the sides. The reason being is I want to cut out the continent of Africa on here. And I think this will work really great. So I'm going to take some white chalk or white chalk pencil and draw out the shape of Africa. All right. So that's my next step. I just also want to show you how huge this is. It's 86 by 78. Okay. I'm just going to lift my camera and just show you how huge it is. See how big that is? So that's my plan. See if I can sit it back down. There we go. So that's my next step. I may have a special guest help me to draw out the shape of Africa. All right, and I'll speed it up so you don't have to watch for long. All right, I'll be right back with my helper. Okay guys, we've made some tweaks and I'm just gonna have my husband explain. Go for it.
All right, so in a previous video, we actually drew this out. So we redrew it. So we're just going to trace it and go through Africa. So this is a chalk sketch of Africa. So let's start in West Africa, the Western Hemisphere of Africa, which is, here's the Atlantic Ocean. Here's Western Africa, Congo, on and on. So let's move up. We're moving up West African coast. We're going up to Morocco. As we go around Morocco, we're going into, what is it called? The Rock Gibraltar, where they go into the Mediterranean. So above here is the Mediterranean. As we go through the Mediterranean, what is it? Algeria. Keep going through Algeria and Tunisia. Moving through Tunisia. Moving over into Africa. We go through Africa.
Aren't you in Africa?
Yes, Egypt. Egypt, Northern Africa, Egypt. There you go.
The other Africa.
The other Africa. So we keep moving on. And this is where the Nile River is, right? The Nile River basin, and it comes down. So now we're over in Eastern Africa, going through the Nile River. Many of you are familiar with that. Coming down the Nile River. We're sketching it out. Now we're dropping down. We're in Eastern Africa, and we're going down into Somalia. So you have Ethiopia and Eritrea over here. Now we're going down into Somalia and what is known as the Horn of Africa. Somalia. So here's Somalia, the Horn of Africa. Coming out of the Nile, going into the Red Sea area. Coming all the way down into the Indian Ocean. As we come down the Indian Ocean, now we're in South Africa. And we have Madagascar, the island of Madagascar in South Africa. And as we move down to South Africa, where many of us are familiar with the Boer War, 1899, with the English and the Dutch, the Boer War. So we come down South Africa in the very tip of Southern Africa, and we move on the lower rim of the continent. Then we're coming back up and we're back at South Africa. South Africa or mid-Africa, the Congo. So there you have it.
All right, thank you.
I'm dead. Yeah, that's a better picture.
All righty, I'm ready for my next step. I have tweaked the outline that my hubby did for me. I'm very thankful, but I had to tweak it so it looked more like the continent of Africa to me, okay? So my next step is to base stitch it, and I'm going to do like a 5 or a 6 stitch lift around the chalk, maybe like 1/4 of an inch outside of the chalk line. And then I plan to sandwich it and I am going to turn it inside out. I'm not going to use binding, so we'll see how this goes, okay?